Hello everyone. Am I audible? Just say yes or no. हेलो, आवाज आ रहा है ना मेरा?
हाँ भैया।
Okay. Okay. So let's start our day two of switch to sweat. Okay, the PPT is visible to everyone, right?
भैया।
So in yesterday's session, we discussed about the basics of Svelte, like what is Svelte and how it is different from other frameworks. So today, firstly, we will discuss something about SvelteKit, and then some other important features of SvelteKit, and then we'll be building an expense tracker completely from scratch. So, is there anyone who didn't attend yesterday's session, attending for the first time today? Yes, please, then you can just say or write in the chat box. Okay, so I believe everyone attended yesterday's session, so we can directly start. Or if you have any doubt in the middle, you can just stop me and ask. So, firstly, we will discuss something about SvelteKit. Even yesterday, when we wrote code in stack blades, we opened the repo for SvelteKit. So, what is the difference between Svelte and SvelteKit? So before I explain this, let me just give you a simple analogy. Uh, you all heard about React.js and Next.js, right? So can anyone tell me the difference between React and Next and how they are related or how they are different from each other? Anyone? Hmm. Yeah, okay. Main difference यही है. So the same thing is with Svelte and SvelteKit. Just like we have Next.js for React, similarly we have SvelteKit for Svelte. So Svelte is a front-end framework and SvelteKit is a framework built on the top of Svelte, which has some extra features just like routing and server-side rendering and all. So this is the main difference between Svelte and SvelteKit. So जैसे मार्केट में ट्रेंड होता है लाइक इन द कॉलेज लेवल मेनली द वेबसाइट्स आर बिल्ट इन रिएक्ट एंड नॉट इन नेक्स्ट बट इन case of Svelte it is opposite like most of the websites are built using SvelteKit directly because we have all other features whatever features are there in Svelte वो सारा SvelteKit में तो है ही so why go for Svelte. So whenever we learn using SvelteKit only. The whatever we have discussed, the same thing can be written in SvelteKit. But the extra features in SvelteKit is like the most important one is routing, which we will be discussing today. So you have learned two frameworks. First is Svelte, other is SvelteKit. So let's start with routing. And if you know routing, then you are almost done with SvelteKit as well. So in routing, the main concept is a file-based routing system, which is also used in Next.js. But let me explain you what is file-based routing. Uh, okay, just let me start with a repo. Like, let me create a folder and I will show you how can we suppose. Let me open it in this. Yeah. So firstly, we'll create app in SvelteKit. You can just see or follow along with me. This is the command we use, and we can type the name of the project. Okay, I guess everyone can see this. Like VS Code is visible to everyone, right?
Yes भैया।
Okay. So like this is the command we used for creating an app in SvelteKit. So this will give me a, like I will choose a skeleton project using JavaScript. For now, I can skip this. So yeah, it's created. I will get inside the app. So if you see here, this is the folder structure that we discussed yesterday as well. So in the routes, the plus page.swell, this is our main folder. Main page, this is the home page, right? So just a minute. The network is quite slow. So like in this page, we'll write our main code. So what we want to discuss is routing. So how can we routing in simple words, routing means we can give multiple pages in our website. Say for example, just reopen it. So so yes, you can see like this is our main page where we'll be writing. So in this, if we want to create some routes for say like now I am in the home page. So suppose I want there should be a route for about page. So what now if we see there is an error. This 404 page is designed by SvelteKit themselves. So now I want there should be a page for about. So we can simply within the routes folder, we'll create another folder with the same name of which we want to create the route. Like I have created a folder named about, and inside this about folder, I will create a page.svelte file. So this file will contain the content for our about page. You can see now there is no error in about, and whatever we will write in this page.svelte will be displayed in our about page. So you can see uh, this is our home page. The home page content is this, which is directly inside our routes folder. And inside the routes folder, we created another folder named about. So this about folder, whatever the content is there in this page.swell will be displayed in our about page. So यहाँ तक clear है क्या सबको?
Yes, bhai.
Okay, so that's how we create a route in Svelte. मतलब बहुत simple है ये. Like suppose we want मैं मान लो कि मैंने एक और इस तरह से फोल्डर बनाया for profile page. In the profile page, I created a plus page.set. This is my profile page. So this works now, profile page. So what I want, suppose in the profile page there are two profiles, profile one and profile two. I want कि when I go in, when I click on profile one, it should go take me to another path, say profile one, or like suppose it should take me to this path, profile one, but now it's giving me error. So how can I create this profile one page inside this profile? Can anyone guess? Like it's easy to guess. We'll simply create another folder within this profile folder, right? With the same name, what I want as the path. So this will be my profile one page. Is that clear? You will just tell if you have any doubts. Okay. So this is how we can create nested routes. Basically, we call it nested routes. We can create multiple profile pages like this. We can create profile one and profile two. But can anyone guess what if we want to create multiple such pages? Like say we have the profile page. In profile page, there are hundreds of profiles. So are we supposed to create 100 such profile 1, profile 2, profile 3, this way folder? Or there is any other method? There should be other method, right? So what we will do inside this profile folder, rather than creating this in profile 1, profile 2, we'll create a dynamic folder to create a dynamic route in Svelte. We use the square brackets and write some name here, say profile or anything we can write. I'm writing profile ID. So now I have not created the page.svelte. So see, if I go to profile 2 or profile 3 or profile 4, this will give me error. So as soon as I create the plus page.svelte file, this is my profile details page. Yeah, so you can see in the profile 3, I am getting this. Whether we go to profile 3 or we go to profile 300, we will get this profile details page. So is that clear? Okay. So you may have a doubt here that this page is displaying every page will display the same content. So we can use the concept of like stores that we discussed yesterday, like to write any JavaScript, we will use this script tag and we will import page from stores, mm, like this, and we can say create one profile ID using this page.params dot the same name what we given to this dynamic route, which was profile ID in this case. Whatever we have written in this square bracket, we will write here. So now profile details page for, if I write here profile ID, yeah. So you can see whatever page we are in. Now we are in profile 300. So this will display me the content for profile 300. If we say go to profile 3000, it will display me the content for profile 3000. So that's how we can make dynamic routes. So yes, let's see. यहाँ पे कोई डाउट है क्या किसी को? Okay, everything is clear. So let's see what we have written. We use the file-based routing in Svelte. This src, within the src folder, we'll create this routes folder. Inside this, if we create a profile folder, it will create the profile route. And so there is a visualization for you, like when we are in this about page, so this about content written in this page will be displayed. When we are in profile route, the content written in this profile page.thread will be displayed. So we have seen this thing. Then let's discuss the nested routes. We have discussed about what is nested route in the profile folder. If we want profile 1 and profile 2, we can create folders within that profile. And yeah, we also discussed dynamic routing to create multiple such profiles. Like if we have hundreds and thousands of such profile, we cannot manually create that. So we use the concept of dynamic routing. We'll create a folder with some name within this square brackets. So this square bracket will represent a dynamic route. And inside this, we can create a page.thread file to display the content. So that's all about routing. And yeah, we also discussed this, how can we show the content or particular with the help of stores. So I have given this in the PPT so that you can see it later on. And now coming on to next topic. So I guess routing is clear to everyone. Let's discuss layouts. What is layout? Let me to the VS Code. Yeah. So what layout means, like suppose in a website we have so many pages, right? So if we want say our navbar and footer, we want our navbar and footer to be in every page. So we can create component for navbar and footer and we can import. So rather than importing it in every page, one option could be if we have suppose 10 pages, we can create a component for navbar and we'll import it in every page. But that's not what we want to do. We have a better option. What we will do, we can create a layout for our website. Create a layout. What we do in the routes folder, we'll create a new file with the name. The name should be same plus layout.svelte. Yeah. So in this, whatever I write, say navbar, I will create the navbar component and input it. For now, I am just writing the navbar and we have the footer. Okay, so one thing you will see that as soon as I write navbar and footer, the actual content of the page disappears. So this should not happen. Like जो भी page का actual content it should be there, and apart from this, we should have this navbar and footer. So in order to do that, we will write here slot. So what this slot does, whatever content of the page was, it will keep it as it is, and apart from that, means it is just to render the actual content of the page. We write this slot. सो ये समझ आया क्या?
Yes, भैया.
Yeah, cool. So this is how we can create a layout and ये slot देना मत भूलना. This is for the actual content and whatever we want to write, we can write on the top of it or after it. So that's how we can create layout. But what we want to discuss the advanced layout. Like for example, like here we have profile page, we have about page, and suppose we also have one more. Say we have contact page. We create the contact page. So yeah, the thing is what I want. अगर अभी मैं देखूं, if I am in my home page, I am seeing the content for the home page and this layout. If I am in the contact page, I will see the same thing, the content for this contact page and the layout. What I want, the layout for contact page should be different than the other. Suppose मेरा ऐसा requirement है, in the contact page, I do not want the footer, just for example. So what will I do in that case? So we use the concept of group layouts. What group layouts do, I will create another folder, say with any name. Suppose I give the random name and I will take my contact within this and I will delete this layout and inside this random folder, I will create a plus layout.swell. But the thing is, now you see that there is error in contact page. ऐसा क्यों हुआ कोई बता सकता है?
तो वो रैंडम के हाँ रैंडम के
Yeah.
अंडर है वो.
अभी अभी दिक्कत ये हो गया that we need to go to this to see our uh, yeah okay, so इसमें मैंने कुछ content नहीं लिखा था, मतलब whatever I write in the contact page, okay, plus layout dot set, yeah, मतलब जो भी मैं लिखूंगा it will be displayed here. But the thing is, ये तो हमें नहीं करना था ना. We have changed the path. This was not the solution. So what we can do, uh, there is a simple solution. When we are creating a folder, we will create it within parentheses. Suppose मैं इस तरह से folder बनाया और जो मेरा contact page है, अब मैं इसको इसके अंदर ले गया. Now if you see, मेरा जो contact page था, it will be there as it is. Contact page ऐसा का ऐसा है. And within this folder, I can create a plus layout.swell to display hello. और suppose मेरे को navbar दिखाना था, so I'll display the navbar and don't forget the slot. So yeah, तो ये navbar ये मेरा layout आ गया और ये contact मेरा the content of the contact page आ गया. समझ आया कि ये क्या किया मैंने यहाँ पे? I created a layout.swell in another folder जिसका नाम मैंने parenthesis में दे दिया. So this has a different layout. और बाकी लोगों को जिसमें मुझे लेम्पर और फुटर दोनों चाहिए था, I will also wrap them in another folder within parenthesis, and in that folder I will define the layout for that. Is that clear?
ये
Now it is clear. Yeah, I guess this is clear to everyone. So yeah, that's what I have written. Like for the layout hierarchy mirrors the root hierarchy. So in some cases, if we want like different layout, one for profile page and other for rest, so we'll create this in a directory whose name is wrapped within parentheses. So if we wrap it within parentheses, it will not affect the path of the actual route. So yeah, this is the main concept of routing and layouts, which was not present in Svelte, like in the vanilla Svelte, it was not there. So that's why we prefer to use SvelteKit, where we have these extra features. So now, if you have learned the basics of Svelte and SvelteKit, you're good to go to make a project using this. So let's start building an expense tracker using Svelte. So you all can follow it along with me. What you need to do, okay, just a minute, close this. यहाँ तक किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है? Okay. So like everyone have a Node.js installed in their system. कोई ऐसा है जिसका Node.js नहीं है? Just raise your hands. जिसका नहीं है, just raise your hands. Okay, I believe everyone have Node.js installed in their system. So if you do not have, in case अगर किसी का नहीं है, तो तुम लोग Stackblades पे जाके कर सकते हो. Just follow along with me. Stackblades में जाओ and create a Svelte folder or SvelteKit, whatever you want, and follow it. And just create on this. You can select the Svelte और just मैं system में कैसे करते हैं मैं वो दिखा देता हूँ. We will create a new folder and करना सब लोग. Let me give it some names. We can type npm init with. So we are doing is well, right? Because we will be building an expense tracker, so we don't need any routing or such. It is a single page application, so we will be using Svelte only. Let me give it a name. Suppose Svelte expense tracker. We will be selecting Svelte. We will be using JavaScript, and yeah, we are good to go. CD tab npmi. We just follow
ये
it
आपका
along with
स्क्रीन
me.
शेयरिंग ऑफ हो गया है शायद.
Is it visible now? Yeah, okay. So यहाँ तक सबने किया है ना? Just follow it ताकि you can also make a project along with me. नहीं हुआ? अगर हो गया तो एक बार just tell in the chat box. Yes. Should I wait or continue? Let's go ahead. So let's start. Yeah. So there's a folder in the .svelteKit code. So let me just remove all this, and in script tag we'll be writing our JavaScript. Here we will be writing our main code, and here we're writing our style. So as we discussed, we can write all these three things in one file in case of Svelte. So if we want to build an expense tracker, so what we actually require, basically we will be needing a form where we can input the amount, the description, and the date on which we spend the money. And another part will be displaying all our expenditures. So first let me start with the input form. Suppose let me give it some name, tagline. So within this, we will create a form. So you can code along with me so that it will make much more sense. In the form, I need three things. First, in for amount. So let me just give the label amount, input type number. We can give it an ID, and we can give it a description. And we will create one more for date. So we can write here label date. I'll take the input type will be date, can give it the same ID, and then placeholder is not required. So yeah, so this is the basic HTML. We created a form, and in this form, we let us also create a button to submit. Okay, so now we actually want कि लोग input ले user से. For example, gives amount here. So store that amount. So to store that, let me just create one variable. Say for the description, one variable. मेरा डिस्क्रिप्शन वेरिएबल हो गया. We create another variable for and then we'll be creating one for yeah. So firstly, okay, let me create one more array for this access. Where we will be okay. वॉइस आ रहा है ना? Yeah. Just a minute. अभी ठीक है क्या? मैं रीजन हूँ. देखो तो स्क्रीन विजिबल है. ठीक है, अगर दिक्कत हो तो बता देना. आई विल चेंज इट. या सो अभी तक मैंने क्या किया, मैंने एक एरे बनाया एक्सपेंसेस नाम का, वेयर वी विल स्टोर दिस, एंड 3 वेरिएबल मैंने बनाया. जो डिस जो डिस्क्रिप्शन अकाउंट है और date है, ये मेरा कहाँ से आएगा? बाइंड यस्टरडे. सो इन स्वेल्ट वी हैव अ फीचर लाइक बोलूंगा, मतलब सिंपली हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, किसी को याद है क्या इनपुट फॉर्म के बारे में? वी डिस्कस्ड इट यस्टरडे ओनली. सपोज हियर वी कैन गिव इट अ बाइंड वैल्यू. सो लाइक इसमें जो भी वैल्यू आएगा that will be stored in our amount. Similarly, इसमें जो भी description user देगा, we will be storing it in our description variable, and whatever the user will input, we will be storing it in our date variable. पर चीजों को बहुत आसान बना देता है. तो जो भी यूजर ने यहाँ पे दिया है, that entered in our this variable, हमने उस वेरिएबल में स्टोर कर दिया. अब इस वेरिएबल से we will store it in our array. So like let me create one function. Suppose a function that add expenses. In this, we will first check if the description and the amount and the date exist. अगर वो empty है तो हम लोग नहीं लेंगे. All three are compulsory. If they exist, then we can. इतना नहीं चाहिए. We will just use this part. We will ये क्या? We know JavaScript, so what we will be doing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we created a element for this array with the name expense. So यूजर ने जो भी इनपुट दिया वो हमारा एक्सपेंस में स्टोर हो गया. id not required. So yeah, एक्सपेंस में स्टोर हो गया एंड वी अपेंडेड दैट टू द एंड ऑफ आवर दिस एक्सपेंसेस एरे. पहले मेरा ये एक्सपेंसेस एरे था, उसमें मैंने ये कर दिया अपेंड. आई गेस दिस वर्क. देखते हैं. सो एंड देन वी विल ऑल्सो कंसेप्ट फॉर. ओके, अभी हम लोग पहले डिस्प्ले करने के लिए बना लेते हैं. Where we'll be displaying our actual content जो भी यहाँ पे stored है. So let me do that. यहाँ तक सब लोग follow कर रहे हैं क्या? So let me create a div for express record. I give it the name display table. So here I will be displaying my expenses. This is simple HTML. Like यहाँ पे और कुछ भी नहीं है, मतलब normal. I'll be using a table. Within the table I will be using t and देखो मैंने एक एक्सपेंसेस एरे बनाया है, तो मैं यहाँ पे जो मैं शो करूंगा, वेट तो मैंने टीआर, ये मैंने रो शो की डिस्क्रिप्शन अमाउंट और डेट के लिए. Let me give one more for serial number. I will display this only if there अभी ऐसा अच्छा नहीं लगेगा क्योंकि अभी there is no expenses. So I will check for a condition like if else statement हमने सीखा था कल how to write if else statements in Svelte. So here we'll be writing that if expenses dot length is greater than 0 then only we'll displaying this. And यहाँ पे हमारा if statement end होगा. तो सबको पता है if statement कैसे लिखते हैं? अभी हम लोग का ये गायब हो गया because there is no array in this, no input in this expenses array. So as soon as we will enter this, तो इसका length एक बढ़ेगा, so this will be displayed. And after this, we will show the actual content within T body. Here we will also check the same condition like before. Okay, तो हमने for loop सीखा था कल, right? Like this each statement. Each statement क्या करता है whatever we have in this expenses array उस expenses array का जितना भी content है वो यहाँ पे display कर देगा. ये चीज याद है क्या सबको? कल इसमें काफी अच्छे से डिस्कशन किया था. ओके, सो व्हाट दिस विल डू, तुम्हारा जो भी कंटेंट है एक्सपेंसेस एरे में वो यहाँ पे डिस्प्ले कर देगा. सो ये आई गेस इनफ. इसमें खाली एक कंडीशन में लगा देता हूँ. हाँ, इसमें नहीं चाहिए वो कंडीशन. ओके, सो फाइनली लेट्स सी फिट. ये बात तो अभी नहीं करेगा कि फंक्शन बनाया है एडिशन यूज ही नहीं. कुछ करेंगे इन द बटन एड एक्सपेंस वी यूज ऑन क्लिक. ऑन क्लिक इसमें कैसे लिखते हैं पता है ना आपको? सो दैट्स ऑन क्लिक. एंड ये हम लोग जस्ट सबमिट सकते हैं मतलब ठीक ऑन सबमिट लगा. पॉइंट ठीक है. या फिर एक काम करते हैं फंक्शन में यहीं पे लगा देते हैं कि अगर ऑप्शन हो then we can just make it a prevent default. Yeah. ये देखते हैं if it works. Say let me enter some amount 99, some text, say some any random text and the date. कोई डेट मैंने दिया तो मैंने ऐड किया. अभी ऐड हुआ है या नहीं लग सी. as soon as I click on this और ये ऐड होता तो it should have been displayed I guess. So just let me rewrite this part. अगर डिस्क्रिप्शन है so what we will do, और यहाँ पे है इसमें ऑन सबमिट में. जस्ट मिनट, मुझे आई गेस उसमें मुझे रॉन्ग लग रहा है. मुझे एक्सपेंस एडिंग है इन दिस एक्सपेंसेस एरे. अच्छा इट वर्क्स पता नहीं कोपायलट ने वो क्यों देखो. नाउ मैं ओके डिस्क्रिप्शन अमाउंट ठीक है. So it should work now. चलो इन लोगों ने यहाँ तक किया है क्या? ओके, हमने बटन पे लगाया था क्या? ओके ओके ओके, इसीलिए शायद। अब मैंने भी ध्यान नहीं दिया, बटन पे लगा रहे थे हम लोग। कौन क्या add expenses. So let's see if it works now. Yeah, okay. Get it. So that's the basic expense tracker we have made using Svelte. तो इसमें Svelte का ज़्यादा कुछ हमने यूज़ किया भी नहीं, like some ये basic JavaScript है which you all know. Only simple thing what we did, यहाँ पे हमारे पास एक and है जिसकी मदद से हम लोगों ने जो भी वैल्यू यूजर ने इनपुट की, the same value is stored in our variable and we post it in our array. So with the help of this and oh yeah, the main issue is that if we reload it, डेटा चला जाएगा। तो सिंपली हम लोग लोकल स्टोरेज जो हमने जेएस में पढ़ा था यूज करेंगे। दिस वन लाइन ऑफ कोड will help you to save this in your browser. Storage that set item expenses हाँ सही है। Suppose outside this function simply या इसको एक और चीज कर लेते हैं so won't be an error. We will just add expenses equal to stored expenses. Check if some pass. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Yeah. Now if we reload, the data does not go anywhere. ये simple local storage का concept यूज किया. So I hope ये तो समझ आया होगा सबको. बाकी स्वेल्ट का इसमें हमने लिटरली बहुत कम यूज किया, हमने सिंपली एचटीएमएल से फॉर्म बनाया एंड आफ्टर द फॉर्म हमने बस एक इफ एल्स स्टेटमेंट यूज किया। ये भी उतना जरूरी नहीं था बट हाँ ये कंडीशनल रेंडरिंग के लिए अच्छा है, वरना ये दिखता वो अच्छा नहीं था। सो यूज द कंडीशनल रेंडरिंग यूजिंग दिस एंड एक फॉर लूप हमने यूज किया टू डिस्प्ले द कंटेंट एंड हमने बाइंड का यूज किया। सो विद दिस जस्ट सिंपल थिंग्स हमने हमारा पूरा एक्सपेंस ट्रैकर बना दिया। कोई डाउट है इसमें किसी को? तो सबने फॉलो किया है ना? Like you can give anything here. Text, search, yeah, yeah, it works. अब इसमें हम लोग एडिशनल फीचर्स लगा सकते हैं लाइक डिलीट करने का ऑप्शंस लगा सकते हैं, एडिट करने का लगा सकते हैं। तो काफ़ी सिंपल है वो सब, तो चाहो तो तुम लोग कर सकते हो। ये सबको समझ आया ना अभी तक हमने जो भी किया? इससे हाँ, कोई डाउट है किसी को इसमें? डिडंट यूज मच स्टाइलिंग है, वो तुम लोग खुद से कर सकते हो। एंड ठीक है, अभी टाइम है तो मैं डिलीट का दिखा देता हूँ इसमें। Won't take much time. We'll just create a delete function. Suppose यहाँ पे मैं function delete entry से एक function बना दिया. Will take some index and यह splice क्या करेगा from that index of length 1 it will delete. तो इतना ही delete में we will call it and add a delete button. Suppose in this We'll create a button here for like for a particular expense. If we want, we can delete this and we will call this function delete entry with some index of I. Yeah. Okay. So suppose we have entered some amount in for search and this is our date. So we have option for delete this time. Delete नहीं हुआ. यहाँ पे क्या एरर है, कोई देख के बोल सकते हैं क्या? ये समझ आ रहा है ना सबको यहाँ तक? ओके, सो व्हाट वी विल डू कि हमने यहाँ पे एक्सपेंसेस एरे को रीसेट नहीं किया था. सो लेट्स ट्राई नाउ. सपोज हमने फिर से कुछ दिया and sum this and let's give a date, add expense and now if you want we can delete it. So delete का फीचर भी हमने ऐड कर दिया. So बाकी लोगों को समझ आया? बाकी सब मीट में है या like everyone just respond with a yes or no? Like कोई भी डाउट है then you can ask. Well, let's get back to PPT. People's doubt नहीं है, so we will just go through what we studied like today, and we will wrap up our today's session. So we started with the difference between Svelte and SvelteKit, what other advantages it offers, and like one of the most important feature was routing. So as we discussed, it used a file system based routing. We can create a folder within our root folder with the same name of which we want to create the path. So just like we created a profile folder within this routes folder. So it will help us create a profile route. And yeah, we saw this. Then we also learn to create nested routes within the profile folder. If you want to create multiple profiles, say profile 1 and profile 2, we'll be creating folder within the profile folder. And if we want multiple such routes, it is not possible to create manually. So we use the concept of dynamic routing. In dynamic routing, what we do, we create a folder with some name within the square brackets. So it will help us to create a dynamic route and then we can display data according to all these things which we discussed. So after dynamic routing, we discussed about layouts, what is layout and how can we create a layout. And if we want different layouts for some files and some other layout for some other files, we use the concept of grouping. And in grouping, we create a folder with some name within the parenthesis so that it does not change the URL path. And within that parenthesis, we will create a plus layout.svelte and we describe the layout for that particular folders within that file. And yeah, then we discussed this expense tracker. सो कोड्स एंड रिसोर्सेस मैं दे दूंगा, बाकी सबको समझ आ गया ना?
हाँ भैया। हाँ भैया।
और कोई डाउट है तो पूछ सकते हो, else we can wrap up our today's session and I will share the PPT with you. बाकी अगर किसी ने भी कोड किया है, then just push it on GitHub and you can share it with us. And you can also modify it of your own, styling ऐड कर सकते हो, फिर edit का features ऐड कर सकते हो and so many other features you can add. So yeah, it's a good project which you can add in your resume as well. And this 2 day session help you to add skills in your resume. तुम Svelte लिख सकते हो, SvelteKit लिख सकते हो, तुम्हें project मिल गया and now you can create some other projects as well. So that's what I think you can expect from a 2 day workshop. And yeah, that's all from my side. If you have any doubts, you can stay and ask, otherwise you can leave.
भैया, अगर कोई CSS फाइल अलग से है और उसको हम इसमें इंपोर्ट करना चाहते हैं, मतलब कोई एप्टॉस 12 में अगर यूज करना चाहते हैं, तो क्या करेंगे?
लाइक इसमें तुम लोग का फीचर है कि तुम लोग उसी में ये लिख सकते हो, राइट? तो अलग से इंपोर्ट करने का आई गेस जरूरत नहीं पड़ता तुम्हें, बट एक कमांड होता है, you can just search it where how to import this. एक लाइक फाइल बना के तुम्हें उधर से एक्सपोर्ट करना पड़ता है एंड देन इंपोर्ट इट यूजिंग अ कमांड. सो तुम डॉक्स में जाओगे तो देख सकते हो आई गेस, मुझे एग्जैक्टली याद नहीं है बट वहाँ पे मिल जाएगा. बाकी लोग को कुछ डाउट है? देन यू कैन लीव.